Okay, really excited to be here with you live with the amazing Michelle Jreige. And
Hi.
hi, this is Practical Creativity, where we are demystifying the creative process and making it practical so you can actually apply it in your life and your work. And the wonderful Michelle is going to be talking to us a little bit about what is probably on everybody's mind right now, which is money, personal finance, business finance, money mindset. She does all these things, but I'm going to turn it over to her. And Michelle, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to right now.
Well, my name is Michelle Jreige, and like you said, I'm a trained CPA in Florida, and I do coaching for money mindset. And it's been really busy. I cannot complain. I have a lot of work. There's a lot of changes right now. There is a lot of information about the economic impact payment and the PPP loan and the SBA and all these things. So on top of the tax returns that got extended,
Yes.
a lot of those got extended. But if you are expecting your refund, file your tax return now.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was very, and you're my accountant. So, I was very grateful to have all of that secured and done, and surprised that everything just came back so fast. So that was not from you, from the government.
Yes.
You're brilliant, and you're very fast, and it's a joy to work with you.
Thanks.
But yeah, working in tax seems to be a lot of letters, SBA, PPA, all the IRS, right? So
Oh, yes.
tell us how you got to
Yes.
do what you're doing. How did you not only get into being a CPA, but also into money mindset? And what does that mean? Let's unpack that a little bit too.
Well, since my company does accounting and bookkeeping for a lot of entrepreneurs, I found myself, that every time I talk to a client, every single different, like every client had like a different, I call them the abundance blocks. Like there were people that I don't make enough money, and then I will do the books, and I'm like, well, but you made this much last year. Like you're pulling in money. Let's look at maybe your expenses, or maybe other avenues so we can bring more money. So everyone has like a different fear about money. There's people that hate looking at their finances, or even opening their bank account or credit cards. So I started seeing all these things and looking, for ways to be compassionate and help my clients, because if they do well, I do well, and then their families do well, their community does well. So it became really important to me to be positive, not only for myself, but on their behalf too. And trying to kind of bring them into this world of being positive and having affirmations and having, like a set of tools for when you're not, feeling it, because it happens, especially right now. I feel like right now is like an incubator for all these fears and all these blocks to really just come out. And even I find myself with some sentences, they are on replay in my head. I'm like, why am I thinking that?
Mm-hmm.
So replacing them with something that is more positive, with like I am abundant and money flows easily into my bank account. And and it might sound stupid, but having those thoughts is so much better than having I don't have enough in my bank account, or have to work hard for money, and how am I gonna pay this? You kind of have a different vibration if you're in a positive mindset, and you start working out of inspiration instead of desperation.
I like
And yes, and that is so important. And even right now, if you have literally no, I don't want to say nothing to do, but if you're finding yourself with less work, start investing in yourself and do an online course, or do something that will something that you can learn. And even if it has nothing to do with your career, if it's something that makes you happy, it's gonna show up in your career some way, somehow,
for sure.
yes, in a positive manner. So that's that was a long answer, but I became like a money mindset
I
coach
love it.
because
I love it.
I saw my clients struggling with it, and for me, money is just it's it's easy and it's great. And so, yeah.
Cool. I really like what you said about investing in yourself. So that's a term that is a financial term. And when you say invest in yourself, that means different things to different people. So for some, it means I'm going to go get a mani-pedi. Obviously not right now, but for others, it means I'm going to start a 401k. What does investing in yourself mean to you? Like when you say that, what does that mean?
Well, investing in myself, I feel like there are a few different layers of investing in myself. I love doing personal growth. Like last year, I got a Reiki certification, and hello, I'm a CPA. I'm not looking to give Reiki to anybody, but maybe myself and maybe my family members. Sometimes I try to do Reiki on my clients' folders.
Nice.
I'm like, whatever's going on here, let's just clean it. So, there is like a personal level of investing in myself, and then there is like my professional level, which is like, I have to do 80 CPEs every 2 years to, keep my license. So that's another investment. And then when it comes to my businesses, having the equipment, the software, making sure, I'm paying my girls well, and well, the people that work for me, and of course a retirement plan. That's the best investment too, because you get to lower your taxes, and you have savings for your future for when you're older. So yeah.
Amazing. Money means, you're right. Money means so many different things to so many different people. And I have been following, you have a little, a series that you do on Instagram that is just kind of walking people through different mantras that they can say. Why don't you pick one or two that have come up recently? You mentioned several already, but like, we really want to help people get into that feeling of abundance. So what sticks out to you? What are your favorites and why?
Well, I think for today, because it's the Monday money mindset, it is even during hard times, I attract opportunities, because I know we're in the same storm. And that's something I read on the internet, and I really liked it, because we're not all, well, I feel that way, that we're not all in the same boat, but we're all enduring the same storm. We have people like me that have a ton of work, because a lot of changes on the tax code and stuff. And then we have people that have lost their jobs, that they've been furloughed, that, they cut their hours. So everyone is experiencing this in a different way. But I feel like no matter where you are, you can still, there are still opportunities out there, and there's still things that you can attract to, be abundant and be able to pay your bills and have a comfortable, safe, living. So.
That makes me think, you mentioned investing in yourself, something that as I've been talking to creative people here, responding to COVID-19, one of the things that has come up time and time again is that when you do an experiment, if you have nothing to lose and you have some extra time, it could become a revenue generator in the future.
Definitely.
I know I'm learning new skills. I'm learning how to do Facebook lives. I'm learning Zoom. I'm learning how to stream on Instagram, how to
so am I.
set all these things up into a YouTube channel, right? So all of these, I'm just doing this because it allows me to talk to people like you and try to share information that will hopefully bring some help and some hope. But I don't know where this is going. I know it's going to help me no matter what. So I've been encouraging people to just experiment. If there's something that you've been putting off, this is a great time to dive in.
Yes.
If you feel like you have the bandwidth, nobody needs to be productive right now, but if you're feeling stuck, it's, I'm a creator, so I got to create. So for me,
yes.
the way that I move forward is always creating. And something else that you were saying earlier is basically like, your abundance is linked to your client's abundance. And I think as creatives, we think of ourselves as like a really solo, alone kind of thing. Like they talk about the artist's plight, like nobody understands creative people. I think we're all creative, by the way. So I think that's like,
I'm creative with numbers. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is creative. But I think that the training that we go through kind of sets us apart as thinking that we are somehow other when it comes to like business or other kinds of skills that are just practical stuff for life. So I think this is a great time to think about how our flourishing is linked to the flourishing of the people around us, and
Definitely.
how you can help somebody and that will come back to you in some way. So how do you stay motivated, and how do you kind of like navigate the times when you're feeling a little doubtful or where you're feeling a little down?
Well, I think last week it was like the bottom of like I literally like hit rock bottom. Usually on April 16th is right after my deadline. That day I wake up, with a hangover probably from drinking and celebrating the 15th, but that's the day that I feel really accomplished. I filed a ton of returns, whoever didn't file got extended. And it's just that feeling that a lot of things got done. There's money in the bank for a few months, and I get my hair done or I get a massage, and I come back and I do laundry because I'm probably leaving on a trip. And this 16th was completely different. Like I sit down here at my desk in my home office, and the first call that I get is from a client telling me that the SBA ran out of money. And I'm like, oh Lord, what happened? So I just start, of course, I go into the SBA website and I see that, yes, as a matter of fact, they ran out of money, and they're not, at that point, they were not accepting anymore a loan application. And at that point, I just started just crying out of nowhere. Again, I already put a lot of applications in. I know it had nothing to do with me that this client waited this long. He had the information. So for a few days, but it was just like I felt like I hit rock bottom, and I really didn't want to work, but I had work to do. I mean, I still had sales tax returns due on Friday. So the first thing that I did was call my friends. I got up from my desk and I did a lot of Ho'oponopono, which is I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, love you, to help me ground. In front of me, I have a ton of affirmations, and I read every single one like 10 times. And I just found a place where I'm like, I didn't feel guilty. I understood it wasn't my fault that the SBA ran out of money. Because I take things very personal. I'm like, how am I going to help my people now if there's no money out there? And I started doing more research. I'm like, okay, so what other, let's make sure that everyone at least gets the economic impact payment. And, let's see whoever already put in their application can actually go, they're going to go through with it. So yes, I pretty much have an arsenal of little things to do. And I love my affirmations. Calling people for support is amazing, because I didn't notice that I was taking it personal. Like I was the one like denying the loans to the people. And one of my girlfriends told me, this is completely out of your control. So like concentrate on something that you can control at this moment. And that's, again, something that I know that I tell my clients all the time, but at that moment that I was like crying and sobbing, I couldn't see it, and it just made sense. And I'm like, you're right. Let's just like meditate for a little bit, do Ho'oponopono, and go back to my desk and keep working. So yes, and I feel like a lot of people have their techniques or have learned the tools, they just don't practice them on like a regular basis. And it's so important to create a routine that includes, a little meditation. It doesn't have to be an hour long, that includes being aware and present of your thoughts, so you can catch yourself when you're being negative, when you're thinking, I don't have enough money, or I need to work hard for money, or, whatever your block is. And you can flag and say, no, I have more than enough money, and I'm abundant. And, my income is constantly increasing, and I'm going to attract the right opportunities for me at this moment. So again, it's just making that switch from scarcity to being grateful. And that helps too.
Amazing. Do you have a routine then on your own? Like when you wake up in the morning, do you have a routine, or when you're going to bed at night? Just thinking about, like, we've also talked about, like, a routine is something you definitely can control. So when it feels like you don't have a sense of control, some sort of ritual or routine is a great way to actually feel like you have agency and that you can create something really, that will serve you. So what is your routine if you have one?
Well, at night before I go to bed, I have a guided meditations that I love because they put me to sleep really quickly. I don't think I have heard the whole meditation, to be honest. I always fall asleep. And then again in the morning, I wake up earlier than usually just to do a half an hour meditation. And sometimes I fall back to sleep. Sometimes I go through all the meditation. I really like guided meditations because I feel they just, I don't know, like I learned something from it when I actually listen to the whole thing. So I love my guided meditations. I try to work out every morning, and after I work out, I light a candle and an incense in my, I have like a little altar, and I say, what am I grateful for? And usually it's like tiny things. I'm like, I'm grateful that, I don't know, yesterday I made arepas. So yesterday I was like, I'm grateful I'm going to make, have cheese and, corn mixture to make arepas today. I was very excited about that. So like little things, like I'm grateful that day that my friend really like supported me. I'm like, oh, I'm grateful that she had the time to read my message and reply to me. It doesn't have to be something huge. I try to concentrate on the small things, like even tea. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I have that rose tea that I love. I'm gonna, I'm grateful for like rose tea. So yes, then I go through my day. I make breakfast and I sit down here for like a bunch of hours.
Yeah, right.
Work.
I totally get that. I love what you're saying about gratitude. I found that being thankful in the morning, once I start, it just kind of unlocks something where then it's kind of like I can't stop it, and nor do I want to. But it's really fun to kind of go on a tangent with all the thoughts about like, even I have air and I don't even have to think about how to breathe. Like my body just knows what to do. And speaking of abundance, the plant doesn't need to, have positive thoughts to grow, right? It naturally sprouts into something. It knows what to do. So sometimes I think we get in our own way.
Definitely.
And we block our own like natural progression. Just not even noticing it, but we get into habits of thought or patterns of the way that we're being. And I know for me right now, it's kind of crazy, I guess, but I've been thinking a lot about how maybe I can let go of my abundance in thinking that I need to control every aspect of it. One of the things, the group that we're in, Las Comadres, they asked us to put together like a 20 goals in 2020, and mine are in my little Dachshund notebook here.
Yes, I did.
One of them was like receive surprise money. So I received surprise money from the government last week, and I'm like, check.
Yes.
I didn't like strategize, and I'm such a planner. Like I'm a strategic planner, and this just comes naturally to me. So to be able to say like, I'm going to accept money and I don't know from where, but I'm just, that's the universe. And then it happens.
From unexpected places.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that happens to a lot of us, especially, to everyone, because even if you're on a W-2 job, you're only expecting your income to come from that job. And for me, I'm like, well, I'm only expecting income from like my clients. So if I don't work, I don't have any money and stuff like that. So once you are conscious that money can come from everywhere, from unexpected places, and you don't have to like think of the process, like, oh, I have to like do this tax return and get this money, or I have to like coach this person to get the money. Once you let go of that and you're just open to money coming from different places, from unexpected places, then you'll see checks. And I practiced that at the beginning of the year, and I was like super good about it. And I got checks from my health insurance. When has your health insurance send you reimbursement checks?
Wow.
Exactly. I got a bunch of reimbursements, like even from one of my software sent me a reimbursement. I'm like, well, thank you. Uber Eats sent me a reimbursement for some reason too. So that month I was like, okay, I'm like, this actually works.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. I like practice what I preach. So I can say, it sounds like magical, but it's not really magical. Like it's actually, if you practice it, it happens. So
I think what you're saying is you're just leaving space for possibility. And when you have a positive
yes.
mindset, really anything can happen. And by the way, as we're sitting here and I was telling you about receiving surprise money, I just got a notification that a client paid me on PayPal today for a coaching session. So look what happens when you just let go. It's like, I never thought I'd be the poster child for that, but how cool.
See?
Like, there really is
Yeah.
magic.
When you let go of that mechanism or that plan that, oh, I only get money for this and that, money just flows
Yeah. Yeah.
easily,
Yeah.
constantly.
Cool. So I love talking with you and I love spending time with you. It's great to have like tax things that we work on together, but part of what you do is coaching around money mindset. So what does that actually look like when people are working with you?
Well, not a lot of the patterns that we have is stuff that we learn through our childhood. And these are things that, they might not be at the forefront of your mind. These are things that you heard at your house, at your school, at church, on TV. And if you think about it, the other day I was thinking about it, I was watching, I don't know what show, but in every single show, the bad guy is the rich guy. Not in every single show, but in most of them, the bad person is always the greedy person, is always the rich guy. So, and even in music, more money, more problems. Like, so sometimes we have this, money is evil, and you might not think that, oh yes, I believe that, but sometimes you heard something so many times that yes, it is kind of embedded in your thoughts without you even knowing. So it's kind of going through, and every person has different blocks, but it's just talking about, with that person, like, okay, how was your childhood? Did your parents speak about money? Did they fight about money? Were you guys well off and you never felt the need of money? Does money brings, makes you feel safe? Or how does money is pretty much going through each person, how they feel about money and about abundance, and kind of working on the tools that they can use on a daily basis to shift that. At the same time being very, because sometimes it happens to me that I'm thinking about something, I'm like, oh, Michelle, don't be stupid, don't say that. And I'm like, no, Michelle, be nice, be gentle to yourself, be compassionate, just like cancel and just, think about something positive. Or every time, I have people that when they open their bank account, they're like, I have no money. I'm like, well, you do have money. Your account is not negative and it's not at zero. So you do have some money. So instead of saying, I don't have money, just say, I have money and more is coming. So it's going through every person.
Little hacks like
yes,
reprogramming thought by thought.
Oh, literally, yes, that's what it takes. And, I'm working, deeply, and maybe sometimes it includes, also some accounting. If they have a job, or even if they are only, a W-2 employee, just working on maybe a budget to kind of like organize yourself better. And, there are things that a lot of people, sometimes we pay things that we don't actually use or need. And then we say we don't have money. So yes, I mean, sometimes it takes some accounting also to like help them see, oh, I don't make any money. I'm like, let me do your accounting. And then after, I do an accounting, I'm like, well, last year you made this much. So you do make money. So also seeing, because that's the good thing about accounting is that it's black and white. There's not, it's like, here are your numbers and this is what it is. Like there's no changing them. So sometimes that can be also very eye-opening.
I once heard somebody talking of, like, I think it was a money coach. She was saying that a lot of people kind of get their bills, or they get the email with their bill, and they're just kind of like, put it away,
yes, and
put it in a drawer. But she was suggesting that you look at a bill as like an invoice for happiness already received.
Yes.
So really getting into the feeling of being happy, being abundant, and having, like you were saying, like you do have money. It may not be what you want right now, but you have it, and that is something that you can start from a place of like thankfulness and saying like, wow, I have money. This is amazing.
Well, and that's another thing that they teach. Be grateful that you can pay your bills. And when you pay them, you are grateful that you can contribute to your community, that you could purchase that you could live in that house, that you can buy that food, that you can eat that, something that is yummy, or, that you can pay for, I don't know, your FPL bill, and you can have AC and light, and, you're paying for Comcast, and you have, Wi-Fi, and you can like connect with other people, especially right now. So just being grateful for every single thing, it brings you a different feeling than just being like, oh my God, I have to pay this and I don't have money. And, when you're sad, when you're negative, you sometimes get into this vicious cycle that you cannot get out of, or it's very hard. You keep digging and digging and digging. You're pretty much digging your own hole. When you're positive and you're paying something, you're like, I'm happy that I was able to afford that. And if it's a service that I'm like, I'm happy that I can pay for something. Like every time I pay, I get Uber Eats, and I'm like, I'm contributing to my community. I'm happy I can pay for Uber Eats. So stuff like that, it just makes you feel better. And when you feel better, you vibrate at a different frequency, and you're attracting better things. You're attracting opportunities, and you're coming from a place, again, and I'm gonna repeat it probably another time. You're coming from a place of inspiration instead of desperation. And that changes things, that helps.
I love that. I think it's also so powerful to think about money as something that comes to us and through us. And that if you kind of like hold on to it, savings is different, right? Savings then multiplies, and your money actually does not belong to you when you save it in a bank. It is being used for other people. So what you said about your abundance helps other people. That's like classic case of what that actually looks like. And the same with investments, like it is doing something. And it's not only in a solo atmosphere there. But when you're putting your attention toward abundance, and you start to practice even seeing abundance, like I'm abundant in the oxygen I need right now. Just as basic as like my body is abundant in knowing exactly how to digest my lunch or whatever it happens.
Yes.
You can get really, really creative with it. But when you feel like something's missing and you're concentrating on missing, it's not the same results that you get as when you're thinking about presence and you're feeling and being appreciative of the presence. That's at least what I've been doing. I have like a daily abundance routine. So, it's mindset, but you have to practice mindset until it's like yours and you don't feel like you're faking it or something, saying like, I am happy, I am abundant, like just.
Well, sometimes you need to fake it until you make it. Because at the beginning, it might feel strange for some people to pay a bill and be like, I'm happy I'm paying this. For some people, it might be difficult. And, so there's people that they have fear, and they can feel it in their body, and they're like, oh, very resistant to it. So at the beginning, I have clients that and I tell them, fake it until you make it. Even though in your mind, you think that you're lying to yourself, just, it comes to a point that if you say it enough times, you are going to believe it. And then you're going to see the results. So
it's amazing. Money is energy. It totally is.
Yes. And money is so neutral. It's the energy that you give to it.
For sure. I think especially if you're in a place where you're seeing a little bit less in your account, or you are in a financially tough situation, part of it is also just trusting that you've had those opportunities before. You've had those situations before where you had less than you were used to, or less than you knew what was coming, right? But something always comes. So I think it's also giving yourself space to chill a little bit, and again, maybe relax and let go.
Yes.
Maybe it's, in the mailbox downstairs and you haven't actually gone down to pick up the check that's in there that you didn't know was coming or that you forgot about. I had this situation on Monday at a client. I did a team building workshop in December for a bank, and they wanted to get super creative, and it was a really, really fun thing. I sent them the invoice. They're based in Venezuela, which of course is like pretty challenging right now. But I sent the invoice, I followed the process, and just yesterday, I got a call from, or I guess it was yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, I got a call saying, your check got returned to us. We just happened to be in the office because somebody was picking up something and we noticed it was there. Can we wire you the money? And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I kind of had given up on them. I didn't know what to make of it all. I had followed up, but it just came. So I didn't expect it to come on Monday, but it did because in part, I just stopped thinking about it. Honestly, I let go of it. It's like, if this never comes, that's fine. But it didn't. And so I always trust that even if I don't see it in my account right now, something in the universe is working its way through. And we're all human beings, like you said. So, you know, we're creating value by being who we are, by doing the work that we do. And I do believe value comes back in money and generosity and good feelings and great communication or whatever it happens to be.
Yes. And especially right now that we're going through this time, if you're really, really going through a tough time and you cannot pay your bills because the money is just not there, it just takes communication. Call your landlord, call your mortgage company, call your, if you have a lease or a rent or whatever you have in a car, call them. And, you know, right now they're working on, you know, their deferral programs where you can defer your payment for a few months until, you know, you can start producing again or until you find something. So there are ways. There's no need to like, you know, like I was looking for like a nice word to say, to become so negative about it. So like, you know, that you're worried so much about it, you cannot leave. There's things that you can do to alleviate that and to move on from that worry to, I'm like, okay, so for 2 months, I'm going to be okay. Let's just concentrate on, you know, something different and something positive. And you'll end up bringing the money and paying your deferrals.
That's right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Also, hope doesn't hurt. So if it's not what you want, there's the ability to like step back and surrender a little bit and allow the universe to work on your behalf and fake it till you make it. Feel really good, feel abundant, but also just let go and see what happens. So Michelle, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so fun. I'm wondering if you can leave us with a bit of hope. So you have so many clients. You're on the front lines of everybody's stories about money and everybody's successes. So can you share with us just like a nugget or two of hope that is coming out of this unique situation here?
I think that right now we are given the chance to kind of reorganize and change perspectives. You know, maybe change perspective of what's really important. And I know right now we talked about money and about abundance, but right now I think what is, you know, most important is all health, the fact that we have a place to live, this, you know, that we're safe. So, and during this time, a lot of people are like rethinking how to do business and how to be more compassionate to each other. So that's something that I love, that I seen people that they say, Michelle, I cannot pay you, but when this is done, I can, I don't know, help you redo the blinds in your house. Or, you know, like stuff like that. It's beautiful to see how now we have become more of a community that we're helping each other. So just keep positive. Know that you are and you deserve to be abundant and you deserve the wealth, whether it comes in money or it comes in health or, you know, whatever it is. Just know that you deserve this. And if you need help, reach out for support.
Yeah, more than ever. I've only heard about generosity. I know that you turn on the news, you hear something else, but my own experience and what I'm hearing from clients, what I'm hearing from friends and in conversations like this is that people are actually realizing that we are not alone. We rely on each other. Like saying, like resiliency is a team sport, right? So communicate, reach out, be generous, and generosity will come back in many, many forms.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. This is great. I'm going to put this on YouTube, so we'll make sure to get some links from you as to how to find out more about you, how to follow your Money Mindset Monday series on Instagram, everything else. And thank you so much. What a pleasure and what an honor to get a little of your magic money mindset dust here today. And I
Thank you, Marte. Thank you so much. This is amazing what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I mean, I'm usually working at 3, but I put you on while I'm preparing my things, and it just, you know, it's just food for my soul. That's what it is.
That's so nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, everybody, check us out on YouTube. And if you want to have access to Michelle, I will post all of the links in the show notes. And thank you all so much. See
Thank you.
Bye.
Later.